coming up.
I feel like this is going to be the
test.
podcast that gets me cancelled.
It could be
Were there any perverts on the set of MASH Report?
R. Kelly or Michael Jackson.
I suppose he gets to see my boobs.
Well, you heard it here first.
What me and my friends used to call Throwdown.
What is that? What's that about?
Oh.
What is a woman? Tony, take it away.
It's great to be here. Welcome back to Bad Boys Done Good. Another episode with, we got the wonderful Rachel Parris here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. We were supposed to have your husband with us, joining us.
Yeah, that's
right. He cancelled. White privilege in full effect there. But we got to make allowances for, what was it he was doing?
Looking after our sick child at home.
All right, okay. Well, that's a good reason.
I mean, that hasn't been verified, has it? Is there any sort of pictures or documentation or anything like that you can prove it? Because that's a good excuse, I find. If you're a parent, you just bring out the baby bollocks, don't you?
That's right.
I would say if this isn't verified, but he really, really, really wanted to do this podcast,
right.
And I only really wanted to do it.
That's the thing, because he was calling us saying, "Oh, please, Tone, please, I need it. I need the numbers. I need the engagement. Please, I'll do anything. Please, let me come on the pod."
He said he'll do anything.
Anything.
Jesus.
He wants to get his Insta numbers up. He's getting left behind, isn't he?
We got you some stuff here. We went to Winstone. That's it.
Thank you for the grape juice.
Cough over the discussion. That's always good for the post-production. We got you
Patreon. We've got quite a few. We got a lot of incels, and they'll basically turn anything into a sort of fetish.
Okay, cough away. Actually,
So
maybe.
They'll like that.
A coughing blonde lady.
That's right.
Weakened.
That's right.
It's quite old school to fetishize the illness of women. That's been going on for a long time.
Is that right?
Yeah, if you look at like a lot of really classical stories like La Bohème, Mimi in La Bohème is like, she's got consumption and she's definitely made more fanciable by having consumption.
La
Bohème.
Sounds like feminist. Is it feminist stuff?
No, not really.
La Bohème. Maybe explain to the incels watching what.
It's not to do with labia. It's a totally different thing. If that's what you were going for.
What's a labia?
Oh no, I can't explain that to the incels, and they won't know because they won't have ever seen one.
Oh, they've seen them, believe me.
Oh yeah, but not in real life.
Not in real life.
Only on a plasma TV they got off Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, 70 inches, HD.
Right.
But yeah, this
it's actually higher definition than it is in real life.
Oh, that is strong. That's strong, isn't
Well, that'll
it?
fix you up, darling.
Oh,
You went to Waitrose because we know you're a classy type.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
It tastes a bit like. Is it meant to be watered down?
No.
I didn't check, actually. But you were talking about feminist stuff. I didn't realize you're actually a co-host of The Guilty Feminist. We had Deborah Francis White. She was our first guest.
Yeah.
Brilliant guest. Talked a lot.
Oh, well, I've done The Guilty Feminist like a handful of times. She has a really big variety of different co-hosts. But yeah, I've done it a few times. I love working with her and Felicity Ward.
Oh, yeah.
And Jess Foster Q.
And who is one of the worst people on the podcast you don't like working with?
I don't think I can really say that or really think of any.
You're not even allowed to think of any?
I'm allowed to think of any, but I haven't worked with anyone who I've thought was bad.
Talking about feminist issues, right, and equality. You heard of OnlyFans?
Yeah.
OnlyFans. How'd you feel about OnlyFans?
Yeah, good for them.
Good for them, but this is the thing. So a broad that does OnlyFans, she's celebrated. She's making an income. She's doing whatever the fuck. But a guy supporting her, he's a scumbag. Why is that?
I don't think that he is thought of necessarily as a scumbag.
They call them pay pigs.
Do
pay
they?
pigs.
Oh well,
right.
This goes to show I don't know enough about that world. I'm not on OnlyFans, and I have to say I haven't yet supported any of the women on it financially with my business. So obviously I don't know enough about it to.
So the women on OnlyFans, seen as girl bosses, making sex work for them,
right,
taking the power back. But the men that go on it are traditionally seen as grotesques, wankers, seedy bastards, bedsit dwellers.
Do you two go on it?
I haven't subscribed to any, but I have a look. I'm an analog guy, really. I like a magazine, leg show. Big fan of that.
VHS?
VHS, oh yeah.
What sort of feminist are you? Right.
I find it hard because I feel like I'm meant to be because of the work I've done, I think I'm meant to be at the forefront of feminism, and sometimes I feel very old-fashioned as a
What does that
feminist.
mean?
It means that I'm not the kind of feminist who gets my tits out. And
Right.
sometimes I think that if you're a modern feminist, maybe you should be, and be all in on that,
Getting your tits out is modern.
and
feminism.
consider that to be empowerment. And I
Get
think
yourself a pay pig.
yeah, I need a pay pig.
Is Marcus a sort of unsaid pay pig in your life?
He's a pay prince.
No, I don't make him pay for anything that he gets, because we're married. I suppose he gets it for free.
Gets what for free?
Well, I suppose he gets to see my boobs.
Right.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Good to know. I got a question right there. From a feminist point of view, do you think it's okay to enjoy the art of men who have been accused of alleged criminal conduct? Artists who've been accused of criminal activity, for example, and Michael Barrymore, Michael Jackson, Michael McIntyre, these people were accused of that. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of chat about McIntyre.
I mean, alleged. This is the thing. It's alleged.
alleged.
It's just alleged. But do you
Right.
think we can still enjoy the art and the gifts to the world that these people provide, knowing that they have skeletons in the closet?
Well, first of all, I will say McIntyre. You answer that, but McIntyre is his trademark. He'll spank the runner's arse and then say, "Who are they going to believe?" Who are they going to believe? And he does it with his arms out like he's on the front of his fucking DVD.
It's a terrifying image for a runner to see that, because that is abuse of power if ever I heard it.
And he covers up the lapel mic
Yeah.
while he's doing it.
So it's
in
not a
case
hot
it's
mic.
recording.
Yeah,
So there are recordings where you can just hear,
yeah. It's not going to stand up in court.
and you
But
can't use it.
But can I still enjoy, knowing that he has abused his power in that way, can I still enjoy his very funny routine about the man draw? Because we've all got man drawers.
That's right.
It's hilarious. It's a very good observation.
I think we can still enjoy the art of Michael McIntyre, because I don't personally know that he's been accused of anything.
Couple
As for
of guys.
Michael Jackson, I don't know. I find it hard not to enjoy his songs. We had one of his songs at our wedding. Don't stop till you get enough.
Yeah.
That one. And
Right.
I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have danced to it.
It's tricky. Is
Should've
there any
just
clips of
maybe
that?
Stood solemnly.
Why? You're going to try and pin me?
Well, that's the kind of clip that will get around Twitter.
Oh, God.
There could be some heat on you. Because they
Yeah, there
come for
might
you
be clips
eventually,
of it.
don't they, Rachel? They come for you eventually,
Yeah.
the Twitter people.
Yeah.
We've
They'll
had him
probably
here.
be a
We've had
clip.
him here.
Have you?
Ray's been dragged numerous times.
Of course. Even just using birds, I'll get handed.
Really?
I'm a family man. I've got 3 girls. I've got a wife. It's not enough.
Yeah.
If I use the word bird, that undoes all of it.
Why is it that certain terms for a woman is seen as offensive, and they're quite innocuous? Like, one of the worst things you could call a broad is a tart. Why is that?
I don't think that's innocuous. I think that's very loaded.
But why is it so loaded? Because a tart is delicious.
Yeah.
I've eaten tarts.
But language changes, doesn't it? And I think
Right.
tart now doesn't mean pie anymore.
What does it mean? It's a beautiful,
It
delicious.
does mean that as well, but obviously it also has connotations of prostitution.
So it comes from
So
prostitution.
it's to do. I think it's quite slut shaming.
So it's a Victorian term about a prostitute. I didn't know that.
So hang on.
I just saw it as like tart is
Right.
sweet, delicious, succulent.
Right.
You know,
Which
like
is a good
many beautiful-
description.
Right.
All of this, I feel like completely not on steady ground here. Because feminism is changing.
It's a safe space.
The world is changing. Sex positivity is changing and growing. And but what I would say is, perhaps, I think a lot of people would say that it all starts at the point where you point at a woman who's a stranger and
Right.
say, "Look at her. She looks like."
Well, that's an important distinction for the incels watching. That's good educational info.
Right.
This is Bad Boys Done Good. We're trying to teach people to be better men. So any incels watching, if you're going to call someone a delicious tart, you got to do it from a safe distance between like-minded people. Don't let her hear it.
Well, no, Rachel's saying you shouldn't say it at all.
Oh, okay.
Even to yourselves. I always thought it's
All
not
right,
toxic.
don't think about it. Don't say it.
Not have any thoughts,
Just think she's beautiful. That's all right.
but not beautiful in a way you
Not-
want
not
anything
beautiful.
from it.
Yeah, you think, oh, she's beautiful, but don't think, oh, she's beautiful. I wonder if she's a sex worker.
No, I think we're getting confusion because when I hear tart, it is about someone that is exuding femininity. So maybe instead of saying she's a tart, you can say, hey, she's sex positive.
Yeah, but you don't know if she's sex positive.
You don't know if she's a tart.
Yeah, you're spitballing. I can see. Yeah, you're trying to land on the one that's okay.
There is a one, is what you said. Broad, bird, cow, tart. These are words we gotta move on.
As you say them in a list, I am coming back to probably none of those really.
Okay. You got good men in your life. Marcus is a positive influence, but he's had his troubles. We heard that he had to check himself into the Priory. He had addiction to, was it cheese and port?
That's it, yeah.
And how was that for you? How did you overcome that
Must
time?
have been a tricky time for you as a family.
It was a dark time for him and the cheese industry.
You've heard about it. He's told about that time to you, has he? Spoken about it?
Oh, yeah. Talked about it a lot.
I can imagine that's the kind of thing that comes up at sort of dusk.
Yeah.
Or maybe just before sunrise. I can imagine Marcus lying there. You're a beautiful woman. You talk about privilege. Just being beautiful help, or is it a hindrance in comedy then, Rachel? When you go out, do you feel, is that useful, or do you feel like it'd be better if you were a big old boiler?
I don't think I'm beautiful, but I do think I can put on good makeup.
Right.
And, yeah, I think that's a huge advantage.
Being able to put on good makeup?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're very humble, clearly, because I think any geezer in fucking South London would think she's an absolute cracker.
Oh, thanks. Turns out I'm fine with cracker.
Cracker's nice. Cracker's nice. It's not loaded. It's a cracker. It's like a Christmas cracker.
Do you know what? It's a bit loaded, and turns out in real life I'm absolutely fine with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, so it's purely on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
A creamy cracker, would that be?
All right.
I mean, as a woman, when he's prowling around in the bedroom trying to get spicy, where do you go in your mind to cope with that? Because that can't be a pretty sight.
No, we're usually on the same page when it comes to that.
Right.
That's nice.
To be honest, we have a 2.5-year-old, so in terms of getting spicy, it's usually both of us going, okay, we're both on a day where we have a bit of energy. He's at nursery. We haven't got work for 2 hours. Shall we? And we go, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, that's a sort of a window. You've got to work in these little windows.
You've got to work in the window.
Why is it that the birds, during the night, they love all the taboos, they love all the disrespect, they love being talked down to, they love the man being a bit wrong? What happens at night that makes birds change so much?
I don't know. I can't explain that.
But would you say that is a phenomenon?
Yes.
That's a reality?
Yeah. No, and obviously it's not all birds, is it, who want that? But it is some birds.
Right.
Who want that. Within the confines of trust, they also want what me and my friends used to call throwdown.
What is that? What's that about?
Oh.
I feel like this is going to be the podcast that gets me cancelled.
It could be.
As a feminist, this is going to be the one. Throwdown is when a man is able to be confident physically in the bedroom.
Right.
Not just in the bedroom, like kissing, everything leading up to that. A bit of throwdown is,
This is what it's about. This is an exclusive here.
Well, this is good for our listeners to learn what the women are actually saying to each other. That'll help them become better men.
A guy saying, "Is that okay? Can I continue? Are you enjoying that?" I mean, that's going to take you right out.
That's right. You need to lose yourself, don't you?
That's the challenge.
Right. So it's a delicate balance between checking in, that's what I've heard it called. Ellie Ray, my youngest, calls it that, but also not over-checking.
Don't overcheck.
Not ruining the moment.
Yeah.
But throwdown is a bit of kissing, and then what? The word throw suggests there's a bit of something going on, a bit of energy.
Yeah.
So it might be throw you on the bed,
Yeah.
and then kiss you.
Yeah.
Right. But then check.
Soft surface.
But then check. Is this all right?
Yeah.
While you
And
kiss.
I have to say, and I can't
Maybe
defend.
throw you down. Are you okay? Get to it.
I can't defend this from a feminist point of view, but if you were to ask someone whether you can throw them on the bed before throwing them on the bed, that would ruin it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
So throw first, ask later.
You heard it here. That's Rachel's
throwdown.
tips.
Right. Thank you, Rachel.
All right, let's move on. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite projects you've been involved in, The MASH Report.
Oh, thanks. Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge fan. Nish Kuma.
Yeah.
Let's talk Nish. One of the greatest comedians of our time.
Great. Yep.
I want to know what it was like to work with somebody of that caliber. Like, what was he like on stage? Did he come up with a lot of that material off the top? Was it just like a one-take deal?
Nish is a brilliant comedian.
Nish is like one of my
Nish
favorites.
was great. Let me tell you, before they started recording, Nish would go out and do a 15-minute set to the live audience to make them happy, and they loved him.
Of course.
And that was all obviously unwritten, just off the cuff. And yeah, there would be loads of unwritten bits in the recording, but the majority was carefully and painstakingly written by us and him. And
So he did right. Okay. We
Right,
gotta
so
write-
then you got to look like you're not reading.
yeah, like all
That's
comedy.
part of the skill, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, we really want Nish on the show.
but you can't get him. You have to put up with me.
I mean, you know Nish, right? You
I'll tell him to come on.
call him. You got your phone?
Yeah.
I'll call him now.
Shall I call him?
Yeah,
Give him a call. Come on,
Give him
get
a
Nish
call.
on.
Give
Let's
him a
get him
call. Because
He won't pick up. He never picks up.
No,
Well, if you're-
let's give it a go. This could be, I'm Nish Kuma for me. That's the gold standard.
It says it's calling, but it's not ringing yet.
It's exciting stuff here.
That's classic Nish. Of course he'd have a slow phone.
Welcome to the EE voicemail. I'm
Maybe
sorry
I could leave a
that you
message.
Called. After you've finished your message,
This is Nish
just hang
Kuma
up.
here.
Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Oh, Nish, how the fuck are you? This is your pal Tony Soprano calling here. I'm calling from the Bad Boys Done Good podcast. I got your number via a colleague. Listen, we don't know each other, but we should fucking get to know each other, okay? I don't know what you're up to at the moment, touring, comedy, whatever the fuck. I'm a huge fucking fan. And it would mean a lot if you get back in touch with me. You come on Bad Boys Done Good. We'll shoot the shit.
We love your rants, Nish.
We love your rants. You make political comedy accessible. That's what I love about you. So I'm wishing you all the best. Have a great week. Love you, kid.
You hung up. I was going to say, also, I'm here, and that's why.
I didn't want to blow you up.
Were there any perverts on the set of MASH Report?
Good question. We've heard
BBC production, of course.
There was a guy who hugged too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Comedian.
There was a guy. Of all of the hundreds of people involved with MASH, this is the scoop. There was one person who I just feel, and not just me, feel he invited hugs too much when he didn't know you very well.
I just can't believe they took the MASH report off the air from Dave. You know?
Was it,
Yeah, I
because,
know.
was it because of the geezer doing the hugs?
Was it Dave? Was
No.
that Dave doing that?
No.
Did you meet Dave?
No. Dave. No, never met Dave.
Is Dave a real guy?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, we
Holding
were
on a bit
cancelled
too
by the
long.
BBC,
Yeah.
which was a shame, and then cancelled by Dave. So yeah, that
Right.
did hurt. That one stung.
Right,
Was
right.
it? So what was? Would you say that you were cancelled because you may have been with the political biting humor? You might have been getting a bit too close to the establishment.
Right.
Perhaps the Zionist overlords of Dave.
No, not the Zionist overlords. No.
Like, I followed Nish so closely, and when I saw the incident with the roll, the bread roll,
Oh yeah, he got bread roll thrown.
somebody
at him.
threw a bread roll at Nish during a performance, and
You'd have sorted them out.
I'm
wouldn't
not
you?
putting it lightly. I would have fucking put them down
Yeah,
if I
cricket-
knew who it was.
Cricket corporate, wasn't it?
Some kind of corporate event, and I'm watching. I'm trying to enjoy the humor. I'm watching the video. Bread rolls are flying. But yeah, I mean, you can't. Have you ever had anybody heckle or throw any food at you when you're on stage?
No, I've never had anyone throw food at me.
You ever been heckled on stage, Rachel?
Yeah.
What's it like as a broad to be heckled with maybe something relating to you as a woman? Has that ever happened?
Not as much as it has happened to other comics, I think.
Because I find that very offensive. Because that immediately, if somebody wolf whistles or says something suggestive as you go on, why would you want to continue performing after an individual has said such a thing?
Yeah.
Very cruel.
If that happened to my daughter, I'd fucking wring his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, so I've been doing comedy since 2010, and I think I've had a few heckles, but hardly any. And I've wondered about why that is, because I think most comedians do get fairly heckled, and I've heard all the stories from other female comics talking about like sexist heckles, and I've hardly had any. And I've wondered why, and I wonder if I think I have got, as a vibe, quite a school teacher vibe
Right.
on stage.
Miss Honey.
Yeah. But anyway, I've wondered if that's why people haven't heckled me as well.
Very interesting. So what you think?
Or they don't like my tits. I don't know which one of those it is.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go there.
Well, she's maybe you're too classy for them to be able to picture sordid encounters.
Well, it never
Yeah.
has to be that kind of farce. Just a male misogynist who's going to heckle a broad on stage. He's not thinking He's not thinking the bigger picture. He's literally, it's 1 second of that's as far as he thinks.
That's his moment.
It's given his approval. He's all that matters in that moment. That's why it's so disrespectful, because somebody is up there entertaining an audience. They don't need to hear that.
Right.
But it's interesting that you avoided that, and maybe some other people you say might have more experiences of that. Perhaps it's because they talk about sex openly, and that might...
That definitely happens. Definitely, comics I know who talk openly about sex, women comics, definitely get heckled with more sexual stuff, because they're like, oh, you're willing to talk about sex, so it's okay for me to shout sexual things at you, which is obviously bollocks.
Nish makes politics sexy. It turns me on when I hear him talking about the Tories or whatever.
And he never talks about sex, though. I've heard he's a very tender and giving lover.
Who did you hear that from?
Well, I heard it from an intel on the comedy course.
Yeah.
I've got my connections in comedy.
Wow.
Who tell me
connections who've had sex with Nish.
Little bits and pieces.
There's a few.
He's a serial monogamist, though, by all accounts. He's not a shagger. He could be having all those left-wing birds, all those girls with badges and
all the granola chicks,
short hair and little nose piercing. That's his bread and butter. They'd be queuing up all round Soho.
He's a one left-wing bird guy.
That's right.
He's a classy dude.
He is. He's a real deal.
Most of my heroes let me down, but Nish...
A bit exhausting at a dinner party, I've heard, though.
Well, I haven't had the pleasure.
Can't turn it off.
Do you want to start a rumor? We like to encourage our guests to start a rumor. Ray's got a few for
a few ideas.
I've got a few some light ones. Tess Daly gets Vernon Kay to wear oven gloves in bed. He's got tiny hands. Also, Les Dennis still has a life-size replica doll of Amanda Holden, and it's so full of his family fortunes that it leaks out of the ears.
I could believe that.
That's so gross.
What's Nish insecure about?
Nothing. Nothing.
He
I exudes confidence.
No, Nish seems to me like a geezer who's either totally confident or running away from all of his fears.
Absolutely.
One rant at a time.
You think somebody would go on television in a suit bringing down the powers that be, week in, week out? But skeleton, he got nothing to hide.
He's probably insecure about bread.
No.
Rolls.
Well,
yeah.
That's fair.
PTSD.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've all got PTSD. I've got PTSD. Doors. Every time I see a door, I get worried. I went into a cafe last year, walked in, they said, we're closed. If that geezer tried to hug me, I wouldn't trust that he was going to give me a hug, because I see open things, I think they could be closed. What would you say to that hugging perv if he was here right now? What would you say to him? He was right there. Look down the camera.
Look at George.
I would say, can we please just shake hands or say hello to each other, because that is the level of acquaintance that we have.
It's fair. Something I wanted to ask Marcus, but obviously white privilege, he cancelled on us.
I'll try and give the answer that he would have given.
He does impressions.
Yeah.
Do you do impressions?
No.
Can you do some impressions?
Okay.
Can you do an impression of Nish?
No.
Or can you do an impression of someone doing an impression of you?
Someone who doesn't like you doing an impression of you.
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
So I suppose that if we think that we have to be safe around men, then we're saying that men can't even hug women anymore. Men can't even hug women anymore. Is that what we... No, I can't.
That's
That
great.
was very good.
That was brilliant.
That sounded like one of your performances on The Mash
Thank
report.
you. Yeah.
When she looks visibly angry, but she's being lovely at the same time.
Yeah, you do that very well. You have that rage behind the eyes.
Thank you.
I think
Absolute
it's
fury.
a talent.
If she was a geezer in that moment, she'd be lashing out at someone.
You could make a really good debt collection when you do that visage, you know. You showing up to the door, maybe getting some of the fucking money that mood shows a lot of people. You showed up at the door with that face. Give me my fucking money, you motherfucker. You know, I think if you're interested in another career path, talk to me. Anyway, so you can't do... So that was a good...
I can do Theresa May.
Oh, let's hear that.
Have you got anything I could say in Theresa May's voice?
Just talk about Nish.
So much of this podcast talking about Nish Kuma.
I just love Nish. What can I tell you? I'm so excited to have left him a voicemail. I'll get his number after the show. I'll leave him some more.
Oh,
He's
we
a great guy.
can salvage it from the clip.
I firmly believe that Nish Kuma was wrongly cancelled by the BBC, which is firmly a British institution.
It must be really tough to have absolutely nailed an impersonation of someone from the past that's no longer in the public consciousness anymore, and you're just wheeling it out, and you wish you had an opportunity to use it properly.
Yeah.
But instead, you just have to use it occasionally. It doesn't even make sense out of context anymore.
I'm not an impressionist.
Okay, and what makes a good comedian? in your eyes?
Someone who is good at saying funny things.
Okay, and what would you think?
Quite
What makes
literal,
Nish
but-
Kuma so good at what he does?
I think it's that he says funny things and has a moral backbone.
I think also it's because he says a lot of things. So if you throw enough shit at the wall,
Yeah.
you'll have some liberal people chuckling at some point or other, won't you?
He says things. He does say things.
He says a lot. It's like machine gun fire
Yeah.
of moral.
You get
He
words.
does say a lot, but you can say too little as a comedian.
That's right.
You
Yeah,
can
I don't
run
like
out of
those
steam.
guys. I don't like the pun guys.
How do you feel about the comedians who do awkwardness as their main thing?
I think it's all right for about a minute, and then I'll get tired of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, there's a lot of comedians. They sort of they embody a character, don't they? They sort of they say things as if they're reading it off a card, and they're
Right.
repetitious, aren't they? They say the same thing. I'm Phil Wang. I'm Wang Wang. Phil Wangster.
I like
Wangster.
that. That's funny.
And-
That's what he does.
Well, he does.
Yeah.
And his first 10 minutes of his show, that was that.
I like
I'm
that.
Phil Wang. Phil Wang, Wangstar, or Big Wang.
I think
Wang,
that's
wang.
very funny.
Yeah, it is
And
funny.
so that was, someone called that padding. But there's a lot of that. You see the new acts copying that now. They come out and they sort of embody a character rather than being themselves.
I think I'm going to check out Wang. Let me ask you, Rachel Parris, voice of an angel, mind of Einstein, right? And a body of work. What are you going to do next? What's next for you? What are you planning?
I'm going on tour.
Tour.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You got a comedy show.
I've got a comedy show.
How long is it? Is it like 10 minutes? I don't understand.
No, it's longer than that. It'll be about an hour and a half, spread
Jesus.
over 2 halves.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Do you
a
have
lot of
break in the
material.
middle?
Break in the middle for wine, yeah.
Do you and Marcus work on your material together?
Yeah, bits of it. Yeah.
When he's all sad in the car?
He doesn't get sad in the car. That's an idea you've got in your head.
Where does he get sad?
Oh, just in normal places.
Does he show emotional vulnerability? Because that's what a lot of men need to do.
What he needs to show.
No,
it,
does he?
Yeah.
Does he cry?
Yeah.
He's a crier.
Yeah, he cries. He cries a lot of films.
Right.
I like to cry at a film.
Mm.
I cry at a piece of music,
Yeah.
but
he
I don't
cries.
cry during a conversation.
Yeah, he doesn't cry often during a conversation.
That is a soft
Have you
man.
seen Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
The part for me is when all the guys they're in the garbage and the crane comes down and they're about to be picked up
Yeah.
and they hold hands because they think it's the end.
Yeah.
Woody holds hands with the Rex and Buzz and Jesse. And you feel like they're gonna die.
Yeah.
And then they don't, they get saved by the alien.
It's beautiful.
Anyway, all right.
Quick fire round. You ready for the quick fire round? Let's
Yep.
do the quick fire round.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
No. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm very hungry.
Comedy or music?
Music.
Music or Marcus? Long pause. Long pause. R. Kelly or Michael Jackson?
Oh, God. I'll choose R. Kelly.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. That's going in.
Sugar or salt?
Sugar.
What is a woman? Can you lip sync now to how you feel about how today's gone, and then send us
Yeah.
what you actually said later, and we'll add it.
Can you guess in the edit? Try and do some lip reading.
We could put subtitles, maybe.
We can try, but just tell us now how you feel today's gone and how you feel in general.
I feel my career is going to be cancelled by this podcast. You've been setting traps for me all the way through, and I've fallen for it, and I regret it. I regret it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that'll look good later. We'll find out how she feels. For now, she seems like you've enjoyed. Have you enjoyed yourself, Rachel?
Sure, you'll see when I send you what I said.
Fantastic. I'm glad you've had a good time.